So you could say Nolan did it again, but you could also say Marvel failed to do it again. And what we're talking about is next year, the summer of 2026, specifically July. There are a bunch of tentpole franchises that are coming out throughout that month and throughout that season, one of which being the new Spider-Man movie and the other being Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Here's where we go straight into this because it's a little bit funny, even though this is probably one of the first articles that I've seen off of this website that is not just complete and utter dog water. If you guys like anything that you see here on this channel, please hit that subscribe button. So Spider-Man 4's release just got cut. And what we're talking about is IMAX. Though it's still 2025, they're just going to go through the things that are supposed to be coming out next year. A new Toy Story, a new Star Wars, and a new Steven Spielberg film. That's going to be March, April, May, June releases. And those are two of the biggest releases of the decade. So they say. The Odyssey, though, that started pre-sale tickets for IMAX over a year ago and immediately sold out the first day. This will release in theaters on July 17th, and it has an entire month, an entire 30 days, where that's the only thing that's going to be shown in IMAX. So even though the fourth Spider-Man film is coming out on the 31st, just 2 weeks later, it's not even going to get a fair shake. It's not even going to get a chance. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. Not only is Chris Nolan did he film everything specifically in IMAX, not just a couple of IMAX sequences? The entire film is filmed in IMAX. He's a huge proponent of it. He's a huge proponent of actual cinema. Now, Marvel is not going to spend that kind of money. They'd rather spend it on, I don't know, craft service tables and probably bloated budgets in the form of CGI and reshoots, which is not something that Christopher Nolan's going to do. But this is going to block this summer blockbuster from getting the biggest screens possible. Now, let's be fair. I don't think a lot of people would want to see it in IMAX, at least on their first go round. They're going to have to make sure that it's vetted at a cheaper ticket price to make sure that they have stayed a little bit true to the material, and at least Tom Holland's Spider-Man is something that people still want to see before they would shell out the money for IMAX. But the news was revealed during the investor presentation, and that goes kind of along with it. What this guy tries to say is that Nolan deserves it. It's like, no, Nolan puts in the work, the effort, and also puts the investment into it, which a lot of other companies, a lot of other production studios do not do. So as of course, he's going to get first dibs on anything whenever it comes to that. And considering how this is the first film, this is the first blockbuster film ever shot entirely on IMAX cameras. It's a milestone for cinema. And of course, we're going to want to do that. They're going to want to have every single available seat open for the best possible experience because that is how the movie was shot. Now they have had some. I mean, the first time I watched IMAX and it wasn't like a nature documentary was Batman Begins way back in the day. No, it wasn't a true IMAX, but we saw it on the IMAX screen. It was absolutely awesome. However, we had seen it before. So just having that extra little step up was a great thing. They're already doing this. Predator Badlands and Avengers Doomsday are set to do in there, but they don't have the IMAX aspect ratio listed for it, which is not really that great. It means you're going to see a whole lot of big blurry fuzz. And if you don't think that the CGI in those films is not going to be absolutely horrific, well, then seeing it in IMAX is going to make it stand out even more, but in a worse way. They try to go on to say either way it's a win for Tom Holland because he does star in both movies, but I don't think he's really upset about it as much as he's getting paid way more to do Spider-Man. So it behooves him to have that succeed. He has branched out into other things that have been completely and utter flops. He had that one with Daisy Ridley where they could see each other's minds and everything like that, all their thoughts. That was a complete and utter disaster. But John Bernthal, Punisher, will also appear in Brand New Day as the Punisher, also gets to act alongside Holland in The Odyssey. So there are a couple of crossovers here. But the thing is, these crossovers don't come from the same production studios. They basically cuck Marvel at their feet or at the knees or wherever they want to be cucked. And it just depends on which chair and which corner of the room or closet that they're sitting in while James Gunn's wife is getting fucked by some other man. This is nothing but good for Christopher Nolan. who has continued to shine in all of his new projects and everything that most of the time he writes and directs. Now, this one, obviously, The Odyssey is a very classic tale. So he's going to have to stay a little bit more true to the source material here. Let's see if they can pull it off, because they have an absolutely crazy amount of people in that cast. Some castings we agree with, some castings we don't. But we do know it is going to be spectacle of the highest margin. If you guys have anything to say, leave it down in the comment section below. This is Malty from Mouth and Malty. We love you and we appreciate you. Bye.